What's up, everyone, and welcome to our live Christmas extravaganza promo read.
Hey, folks, come here and let me see you Saturday, December 19th from 8 to 10 Eastern Time. Join us on our Facebook page. We will be doing our first ever live podcast, and we want you, the listeners, to be there with us.
We will be having past guests stopping by to say hello, but we also want you guys to pop in on us as well. Send your DMs to Luke, the Nomad delivery guy on Instagram, to reserve your slot for the live podcast. I can't wait to see you guys.
So everybody, you've heard it. Head over to our Facebook page and click the like button. We are all excited to get this started with you as we will be on the home stretch of peak season. We hope to see you guys then. Happy holidays, everyone.
I'm good. I'm ready.
All right. Here we go. We're recording in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
What's up, everybody, and thank you for joining us on this episode of It's All in the Delivery, brought to you by Ups and Browns, where warriors get their gear. Go visit upsandbrowns.com. We got some new merch on there. Bobby's got some new merch on there. He's got some brown hoodies out on there. Guys, it's December. It's getting cold. You know, you're going to need to cover up. You're going to need to keep yourself warm. Go and check it out. Support the podcast. Support Ups and Browns. Like I said, upsandbrowns.com, guys. Go check it out. But anyways, I am joined here with my co-hosts, as always, over there in Patheticate, Connecticut. Please welcome to the show, Mr. Bobby Hoyt. Bobby, how are you this evening?
Let's go, Warriors. Doing outstanding. Punched out, made 9-5. It's a good week.
Ooh, that's good stuff. Good stuff. And let me tell you something. This is our only other co-host right now today because our other co-host is our special guest. And let me tell you something about him, which, let's be honest, he probably doesn't really even need an introduction because y'all know him already. But I'm going to give a little one, okay? So here we go, all right, guys? He is from down in West by God, Virginia. He's got that baritone voice just like that. He is happily married to one of the greatest cardboard queens. Just so excited, always so emotional. I love Ashley, not like that, but you know what I'm saying? She's awesome, bro.
Oh, she is, and I appreciate that. She does too.
Absolutely, and I know Bobby can say the same. But he's down there in West by God, Virginia. We're so excited to get into this. I just don't even know where to start with it, with his introduction. He's a big teddy bear that you just want to hug. Please welcome to the show, Luke. I was going to say Nomad, the delivery guy. Luke Painter. Luke, how's it going?
I'll tell you, it feels great. I rarely use my government name. The only other time was for my campaign video and this. So I feel
it's official now.
It is official. Yeah, it is.
And your campaign video, you had a little over 400 votes for
I don't know if it was 400. I heard that it was a high number for a couple. I don't want to get into the positions because I know the people that are in the positions, a couple of them, and the one that I think I got the most votes for is actually somebody I know well. So I'll leave the titles out, but I got a few votes for governor and sheriff and president and all kinds of shit.
That's awesome, dude.
2024, baby.
Oh, Painter 2024.
Yep, 2024. We're going to double it.
That's awesome. But anyways, guys, how's your guys' week been? Everybody good? We're in the middle of peak season right now.
Oh yeah. So let's Yeah, let's talk about the just enormous piles of Amazon boxes everywhere. Can I say that shit?
It's fine.
Yeah.
We don't work for
And
him.
my helper, I went through 3 helpers already. It's unbelievable. And it just snowed. Yeah, last 2 days ago, I think.
Yeah. Did you leave any on the side of the road?
No, I didn't. I'm trying to live up to that.
Dude, I would like to
good
say
guy.
the same. I've never done it either, Bobby. And I just, you look at Dave and you just think, I mean, you think
a
like,
nice
oh,
guy,
he's
right?
such a nice guy. Look into his eyes. And then you're just, bam, gone.
Yeah, gone, yeah.
Fucking savage.
I bet you he did that too. Hey, stay right there, bedroom eyes. And I'll be right back. Meow.
This is not going to happen. That's awesome, guys. So, halfway through it, right? Just around halfway through peak season here, and
Let's do this.
hope everybody's staying safe out there, taking it one step at a time, and getting home to the most important one, right?
Amen.
Absolutely.
So, like I said, guys, earlier, we cannot wait to get this started. So let's get it started. Luke, our guest. Oh, buddy, see, Bobby's over there like,
It feels
let's
good
go.
because it's like the one time, because if I point out any weakness I have a tendency to ramble. And if there'd ever be a time to ramble, it would be, I feel like it's just playing right in my wheelhouse here.
Let's go.
So, Luke, like I ask everybody, take us back. Take us back, way back. Have you always lived in West Virginia?
I have lived in West Virginia my entire life. I was born in Morgantown, and I never really lived in Morgantown. My mother, she worked at the hospital in Fairmont where I grew up. And so she just she didn't want to deliver her baby in a hospital she worked at, I guess. I don't know. So I was born in Morgantown, which I fucking love because you guys know I have deep ties to Morgantown, a place I love very, very much. So I'm happy to have been born there. And yeah, I've kind of bounced around a little bit, but like not like literally within the county. So I've stayed put. I've moved a lot, but I've never not moved, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Ex-girlfriends stalking them.
what'd you say?
Crazy ex-girlfriends that stalk you that you have to move. I know the feeling, Luke.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Bouncing
Rebecca.
around.
And so, how did you get started in the company? Take us through this. Or better yet, hold on. Better yet, let's take it back even further, okay? Let's back a track a little bit before the company. So college days.
College days.
Yeah.
Epic times.
Wild one.
Met a lot of great people. Made a lot of friendships I still have today. The bad thing about that is it's, in a sense, it's kind of, it'd be kind of like the military in that sense, Bobby, is everybody kind of comes from all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
So like really locally, there was only 2 people that I played with that actually lived in the same area that I did. And they've moved. Well, they still live in the state, but they don't live here anymore. Like the one guy lives a few hours away. And the other guy is not far, but yeah. So that's like kind of the crappy thing is that a lot of people you do lose touch with, but I've still about 5 or 6 guys from that I played with. I'm still really, really, really close with. So yeah, I could, God, it'd be hard. I could go on about that forever, but yeah, it was football and kind of took it semi-serious, which I've said time and time again. If you go to school, make sure you have a path you want to go. And I don't regret anything I did, but I'm working for the company, which I don't regret either. But my point is I went to school and I didn't need to. So, but I don't regret it because, like I said, of the friendships that I've made and the experiences that I had, even though I should have died in a lot of them, I fucking loved it. That was a great time. I was still in college when I started at the company, by the way, 3 semesters. That's it.
So you're 3 semesters in college. What did you know your path in college? Like, did you know, I'm going to be a neuroscientist?
I was going to be an accountant, and that makes me laugh now. You see me being a fucking accountant, be like, hey, you got anybody
over budget?
Like, Bobby, Dave, you need anybody to do your taxes? I'm your guy. Fuck, man. It makes me just want to, hit me with, I'll fuck myself. I'll say, fuck. Here's the soundbite. There you go. But that was the original. And then I ended up going another route, and it wasn't really, I ended up getting a criminal justice degree. Mm-hmm. And I didn't really have, that was the thing. I didn't have really any idea what I wanted to do. The coal mines were always big in this state. Coal mining is a big, it's a dying industry. And there might be West Virginia people that hate for me to say that, but it fucking is what it is. But it's still a big part of this area. But when I graduated high school, I still wanted to give it a shot. I'll go, I'll play football, I'll figure it out, whatever. And the mines at that time were dead. And now, being the age that I am now, I've realized that I'm glad I don't have anything against coal mining, but it is an inconsistent gig. And so yeah, I never skipped class. I partied all the time before I worked I didn't start skipping class until I started working preload for the company. Mm-hmm. And then if I wouldn't have had 3 semesters left, I probably would have quit. But I was like, my family would have fucking been pissed if I would have stopped with a year and a half left. And I never really intended to drive, but I just I worked other jobs in the time, just had fun, wasn't really that responsible. And then, you get to that point. I met Ashley, and, we were dating.
Okay. And take us back. Mm-hmm. Let's stop right there. How did you and Ashley meet? What drove you wild about Ashley? Huh? What was it?
I did it the old-fashioned way, and I slid into her DMs.
MySpace?
No, it was Facebook. Okay. No, it wasn't MySpace. Yeah. We got together in 2012, so MySpace was pretty much dead at that point.
God, you're almost on like Tinder at that point. You're like high tech.
I was when I got that was before Tinder. I think Tinder came out right after that. I think. Thank God. And because I was just like, because I remember thinking, I was like, I missed all these dating app waves or whatever you want to fucking call them. But I've always been critical about them because I feel like there's just serial killers on these things. But to each their own, I guess.
That's totally a thing.
Yeah, don't hook up with a serial killer, boys and girls.
Wait, so
but no. I slid into her. I say that I got sidetracked, but no, we were in the same area. She grew up in Maryland. She was from West Virginia, from the area I'm from, but she moved to Maryland. I think she lived in Cambridge or near there, till she was like in her 20s, and she came back, and we were around the same people. We never crossed paths for years. And then just kind of randomly, I saw her at this party I was going to, and we said, hey, and she was leaving. She was with her sister, Lindsay, which you guys may have seen on my page a few times. And, so then, I ended up seeing pictures on Facebook from a mutual friend of ours that had posted it, and I saw a picture of her and Ashley, and I was like, "Hot damn, she's pretty fucking hot." It's like her friend's name was Bree. I was like, "Who's this?" And so, yeah, like I said, I slid into her DMs. I messaged her and said, "Hey, would you like to get together?" And then we finally met up, and we dated for 3 years, and we'll be married for 5 years, April 30th.
Awesome.
Woo.
And that's
so what made you fall for her? What was it?
I
Let's get sentimental right now.
With the Morgantown hitters.
Well, to bring a little bit of Morgantown into this, right before I met Ashley, I was 27 and St. Patrick. So I met Ashley. We met in like the end of summer. So say we met in like August of 2012. So this would have been St. Patrick's Day, 2012. And I was in Morgantown and I was, hammered. And I was off the wall, obliterated, fucking started drinking at like 9 a.m., was going to the bars, and it was a shit show, extracurricular fucking day. And I remember, so to summarize this, I ended up blacking out, but I came to in the woods, and I was in full mode, like I was running, like I just snapped back into it. I literally, the last thing I remember was being in downtown Morgantown at a bar, and I came to, and it was just dark fucking abyss in the woods, and I'm running. Then I stopped running, obviously, and I'm like, where the fuck am I? And and I look at my phone, and it's on like 2%. Oh, then no. It's like 5:58 a.m. And I was like, what the fuck just happened out here? I saw a call. I called where people I was with. I was like, hey, can somebody come get me? They were like, obviously they were incapacitated. They were done. And that next day, I was like, I told them guys, I was like, man, I don't know. I think I might need to try to find a girlfriend or something, man. I feel like I'll just set my this. I told him that I was like, that last night might have been my official retirement from Morgantown, because I was like, I'm eventually going to get too old. I was like, I'm fucking 27 now, and I was like, I'm fucking running through the woods, running through the goddamn woods.
Great foresight.
Yeah. Right. And then about 4 or 5 months later, Ashley and I met. So yeah, it's like the prophecy led me there, I guess.
Do you think she would, like, you ever think back and think like maybe she was just watching you run through the woods and like, this guy's he's a stallion.
Dude,
you know what I mean? Like, Jesus Christ, it's 5 a.m.
Yes.
He's hammered. He's just running. I gotta get my hands on this guy.
She may have. Hold on.
That's awesome.
There's a dog. It's just an animal.
Yeah.
Oh, it's he needed. Gus needed a break from the other dog because she's an asshole new puppy, and Gus is not a puppy and gets fucking But no, we just were kind of two peas in a pod. She loves she loves to, we both love to have a good time, and we were both outgoing and social, and it just, and it settled me down, because obviously when we started dating, if I'd go out, I was like, well, I can't get blackout hammered and wind up in the woods running somewhere. I was like, I got to make sure she's all right. So it worked out. God, I fucking awesome. Love Morgantown.
All right. So if you're not hammered running, when you were sober running, what position did you play while on the battlefield? Well,
I'll give you another story with the battlefield and hammered, but I was redshirted that year. To be fair, I knew I wasn't going to play none, but I was a nose guard on defense, and sometimes in college you only played one way. But when I was in high school, I was like a defensive tackle and an offensive guard. So I was a lineman both ways. And in college, I was a nose guard for a couple years. And then my last year I went on the O-line, and then that was it. I was a lineman my whole tenure. I didn't really take the college part that serious. I was just more there to have fun. And it was Division II, so it wasn't like the big, it wasn't the big time. And but like I said earlier, I didn't have any regrets. I met a lot of good people, and I didn't get hurt. I lifted crazy amounts of weight and probably did damage to my body that I probably will. Well, I can say now that I wish I, might have taken a little easier. But what can I say? I do sets. I used to squat fucking sets with 600 pounds, do sets of 3, sets of 4. And now, thinking of that now, I'm like, why the fuck did I do that? It doesn't even, like,
was
why?
There a 700? I know we were on the phone. Was it 6 or 700?
700 was the most I ever did at one time. That was 700. That was my max. I squatted 700 when I was
on a bar. You have a bar.
On a bar, yeah. That's when I was 18. I squatted 700 pounds. And literally, like when you took, and like I think about it now, and it just hurts my fucking spine thinking about it, because when I took it, when I like got it off the rack, and that's an Olympic fucking bar, 45-pound bar,
definitely bending.
Steel, yeah, and it's wobbling like when you're kids and you'd have the pencil and you would like take the middle of it and it'd look rubbery. Yeah, it was just fucking bending, and had the clips on it and shit.
You're insane.
God, man, yeah,
insane. And you go and you squatted it. You just
my fucking my back and my femur bone and both thighs literally are almost about to snap just thinking about it. I can't do that anymore. Yeah, them days are long.
Shout out to Fitzy Parcel Savage.
Yeah, shout out to Fitzy
giving us our warm ups.
Yeah, those 700-pound squat days are long fucking gone.
So that in itself is a highlight reel. What would be your highlight reel for on the field of like your best play, your most memorable, like just holy shit?
I would have to say my sophomore year of high school, and it pretty much it like to think about it as a whole. Most of it's kind of like a blur, but there's specific moments you remember well, and this one I will never forget because I was a lineman, so I never got to run the ball. I never got to score touchdowns.
Yeah.
So my sophomore year. I didn't start, but I played a good bit. Most of the line were seniors anyway, and I laid more people out my sophomore year because I played all special teams and I was fresh and I was just going down the field looking to annihilate people. But so I was on the kick return team. So they always told us if they were if they had an onside kick to fall on the ball.
Yeah.
So the last game of the season, and we didn't make the playoffs that year. I think we went 5-5. We didn't do that good. So we didn't make the playoffs. So this was it. Last game of the season, we were done. And we were playing Elkins, and they weren't very good, and we were kicking the shit out of them. So the backups come in. So I like I said, most of the line were seniors. So I come in and I start playing. Well, they ended up scoring a touchdown on us on the backup. So they end up, they're going to onside kick so they can get the ball back, try to make the score respectable. So they kick it and it like bounces in it. I can see it coming at me. And I can hear fucking people from the side like fall on it. And I'm like, no, fuck you. And I grabbed it out of the air and I fucking housed it. I took it 50 yards untouched. And I fucking, and the best thing about it is that somebody showed me this stat, because this was like right when the internet first came out, and we're looking at dial-up internet and stats. They were like, look at this, and I had the highest kick return average in the state that year because I was the only fucking return. It was like 52 yards and fucking one touchdown. Awesome. So that was my most memorable play. I got one touchdown. That was it.
That's awesome, dude.
Hell yeah. And the highest average return rate too?
I mean, I can't say that from an official standpoint. If somebody would want to fact check that, I would dare them to do so. If somebody can find 20-year-old West Virginia high school football stats. But look at the top of it.
Dial-up internet, there was no fact check. Whatever was on the internet at that point was true.
Yeah, it was it was a crapshoot back then.
So right out of college, or still in college, you got your job with the company?
Yeah, I was 22 when I started with the company, and I was I mean, I was done playing football then, obviously, but I still like, I barely survived preload, especially that year and a half, because I still had people that were in school and it would be like, hey, Thursday night, man, you want to go out? And I was like, yeah. And then I was sitting there and it'd be like 2 a.m. and I was like, fuck, I got to get going. I got to get to the, and I barely survived it, and I shouldn't, I'm, I couldn't have done it. I couldn't have done it at an earlier age, because I know there's some people that go in right out of high school, and I barely was able to. But see, I just once I got out of school, or I think I would say once I moved out. My last semester, I finally moved out. I lived local to our school, and I was like, I got to get one semester out of here before I. And I love my family, love my house, nothing like that. I was just ready to go, and so pretty much the first year, I'll say, because once I moved out and had to start, paying utilities and rent and all that shit, I was more on the ball. But yeah, that first year, it wasn't good. But I made it.
So, how long preload did you say?
Well, it was 5.5 years, but I'll say this, because this is a part I wanted to make sure that I didn't forget. I applied in 2006 for seasonal help. I don't know if it was to be a helper, just to be in the preload or whatever. I don't even remember what the fuck I applied for, but I applied in 2006 and I didn't end up getting hired.
For seasonal help? They didn't even hire you for seasonal?
No, they didn't even hire me for seasonal help, dude.
My God, they'll hire someone right out of the crack house right now.
Yeah. Yeah. But back then, they were like...
Who knows?
Yeah, exactly.
Or a 59-year-old man that should be on AARP was my last helper, who was trash. And there's nothing more to say about him. The guy was just trash. And here I am. I was 21 at that point when I applied. Yeah, I'm squatting I probably could still squat 700 then. And I didn't get hired. And I was like, all right, fuck it, whatever. And didn't pay no mind to it. And then my dad, the company he worked for, he picked up his shit at I about slipped at the company. And he pulls up one day. He would always go at like Wednesday at, I don't know, like 8:30 or so. I forget what day he'd fucking go. But so one of the supervisors came out, was like, hey, is your son still? Because they knew who I was. See, that's kind of what's even more fucked up. They knew who I was because they knew who my dad was, and they still didn't hire me for 2006 seasonal help.
Oh my God.
So
they're gonna regret it. Don't worry.
I hope they fucking do. But so the supervisor comes out and he's like, hey, is your son still looking for a job? And they had fucking 3 guys walk out that day, preload shift, just fucking peaced out. Fuck you, done. Say, I'm going to the bathroom, not coming back. And so my dad was just like, yeah. And at that point, I just applied. I applied to a fucking restaurant or somewhere, and I didn't even. Then my dad said something about you, and I was like, "When's this shift?" And he said it, and I was like, "Oh, that's great," because I was like, normally I'm still awake then, but I didn't think about it. I was like, "Oh, I'm still awake because I'm out partying with people." Yeah,
no, it doesn't work like that.
No, not at all.
I'm your boss. What's your name? I'm Hammered. No, that's.
Dude, I mean, that first year, man, 2007 to 2008. I don't even know what to say.
Jesus, I don't even know.
It's amazing.
Yeah. Hit it, Dave.
Oh, fuck. Dude, that's so 5.5 years doing the preload, which is just 5 1/4 too many.
It's like a jail sentence, bro. Like what? Like you have to do some serious shit wrong to get 5.5 years of that kind of torture.
I played the game. I won't say I played it at that point. I'd cost myself a little bit of time, but not really that much. So I would say no matter what, at minimum, it was still going to be almost 5 years for me to start to drive just because of the time period when I was in, I guess.
Yeah.
But I was like, that was the one thing when I left, because I'd been there at the preload so long. I was like Nostradamus, man. They were fucking, people would come up to me and ask me questions and shit. And I was like the fucking oracle out there, man. And then I went to driving school and went right back down to the fucking shit pecking order.
Oh, Jesus.
Who's that? Who is? Wasn't his name Hammered? No, that's Nostradamus. Now he's been for 5.5 fucking years.
Dude, see the thing that I can say this now because most of these motherfuckers don't work there anymore. No. The only thing that saved me, and that's what I was telling Andy on her episode, Andy Von Six, when she said she wasn't ready, and I said she'd have fit right in our center. Everybody else at my center was just as big of a degenerate as I was. So like they couldn't get rid of me because they would have had to have gotten rid of everybody.
Dude, do you ever see like these people out on the route or doing something, and I hate to say it, but most people that leave, that don't hang around, that walk out, they never make it. Like you just see them, you're like, all you had to do was stay there. You know?
Yeah.
And it kind of molds you into like a respectable delivery driver. But once they leave, they're like, I'm cutting lawns over here. Nothing against cutting lawns, but they're just not doing well in life.
Overall, and I hate to say that even, but overall, you're definitely right. There's been a couple people I know that went on to do other things and were successful, or still are successful. Yeah. But yeah, I've definitely seen that. And especially it sucks too when you see them on the road and then they start, I'm like, fuck, oh yeah, man. I mean,
$5 and you're like, damn, dude, I got
a lot
more than that, but you should have stayed.
Yeah. I'd probably say if I had to put a percentage on it, I mean, still shit, it'd probably be like 75%.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's true.
Jesus. Yeah, dude, that's rough. But
it is.
You gotta put in the work.
So, how long have you been driving now?
So I think like 8 years, or just about 8 years.
So 13, 14 years with the company.
I've been with the company 13 years. Be 14 next summer, and
you're so close to those 3 weeks.
Well, I just like, I've got like 22 people under me now, and I don't know where the fuck that time went, because I just feel like I had to give a little work to somebody, because there's somebody that didn't want to face the music, because what my thing is that I was like, I won't use my degree for criminal justice. I'll just try to find something else and be prestigious or whatever. And fucking, I did not want to drive, but then you get to that point where you're like, you got to make the choice. It's like what am I going to do? Preload and fucking deliver appliances for Sears for the rest of my life? You got to do something.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it just, I don't know, that this guy he preloaded for a while, and he's driving now, and he had to help somebody, and I guess he was mad about it. And it's, if you guys, I don't have to fucking explain it to you guys. Bottom barrel shit rolls fucking downhill. It is what it is. And but he called off the next day. And
does everything roll downhill over there in West Virginia?
Everything,
including people.
Everything. Including people. Justin wasn't lying, especially on game day in Morgantown. There are motherfuckers rolling down hills.
Can we just go visit Morgantown already? Like I just want to roll down the hill, even if I'm drunk.
I don't want you guys to see Morgantown until these COVID restrictions are lifted, because it won't be what it would be different. it would be different than what I've hyped it up to be because we're old and we're not really college age anymore.
No,
but you can still have a great experience there and have a great time. It's ageless. It's still ageless. It literally is ageless because you'll see 56. The last fucking fight, I broke up a fight. You want to hear a Morgantown story? Here's a fucking Morgantown story. Here we go. This is me. This might have been the closest thing I ever did to using my criminal justice degree. So we're about to go into the game. It was a noon kickoff. Or no. This was a 3:30 kickoff. The later it goes, that's why they always have early games in Morgantown, because they don't want people to stay out there and keep fucking getting hammered and getting stupid. But this was a 3:30 game. So I'd say this was, call it like, I don't know, 2:45. I'm walking to the stadium whereas the blue lot, which is the busiest, the most packed lot of all of them, and weaving through traffic, people, and this fucking guy, and he was probably late 50s, tackles this dude sitting in a chair that was elderly. And I'm talking, when I mean elderly, I mean, if he wasn't fucking 75 years old, I'm not 36. And, I was just like, so I see this, I'm like, Jesus. So I fucking picked this. I grabbed this guy that tackled him. And like, I pick him up and his fucking legs are kicking and shit. And I'm just like, I'm like, calm down, man. So as soon as I fucking set him down and his feet touch the ground, he rears back and he fucking elbows me. And he catches me in the chin to where it hit me hard enough to where I got like the white flash for a minute. And I was like, you stupid son of a bitch. I mean, I just grabbed him. I didn't hit him because he was still fucking old. He was still fucking almost, probably, he could have been 60 years old himself. But I just fucking had his head in the pavement, just fucking pressing it down there. I was like, what the fuck are you thinking? And then the cops came there. And I had to, I had to give like the statements to the police. And I'm just fucking, at that point, I wasn't hammered because this wasn't that long ago. This was probably like 3 years ago. So I've tamed it down a lot since my
West by God, Virginia.
Here we go. We gotta, as soon as this COVID is over.
God.
We're going.
We got to.
We're traveling.
Follow WVU After Dark, man. Well, I mean, that's you want to talk about a page to follow. Fuck, it's a good one.
Oh, we're going to get there. Okay. Yeah. But so let's take it back. Again. So
we're good.
You're driving, right? You're driving now.
Yes.
You got your own full-time route.
I do.
Awesome. And how's it been going? It's good. Everything good?
Well, I miss covering because that's where the Nomad name originated from. Because I used to, I mean, you guys obviously know I got the steel trap memory now. That's fucking documented. So when I first started driving,
let's touch on where you got the Nomad name from.
Okay, yeah. Well, so when I first started driving, I learned a lot of routes quick. So I had a shit ton of routes learned fast. And I worked more than people above me because if they didn't, back at that point, no cradles. So they didn't want to, said you can come in or you want the day, you'd have to run the route blind. So most people were like, oh, fuck no, I'll take the day. And then they would call me. And so my first couple years, I was just fucking literally all over the place. And they people would always ask me because sometimes, they would normally see me weekly, but it would be like once because I just bounced around so much. And they would always be like, do you have a normal route? Where's like your normal? I was like, oh no, I don't have any set area I'm at. I was like, I'm kind of like a nomad. And then I just started telling people that. And then when I got on Instagram, I was like, oh yeah, I'll just say Nomad delivery guy. That's awesome. That's where that originated from.
So you have the Nomad delivery guy name, and you also have the Luke the Duke name.
Yes.
Where did the Luke the Duke name come from?
That was from our head coach when I played in college. He just started calling me Luke the Duke.
And that wasn't WVU, right? College?
No, that was Fairmont State University. It's one county below. It's still, there's probably like 7,000 or 8,000 students there. It's not a small college, but I played there, and I had an opportunity to walk on at WVU, but I didn't, even at 18 years old, I didn't really trust myself. Like, I still lived at home when I started college up until my dad pretty much, it wasn't like I lived at home, but I wasn't like, I didn't really have any rules. He didn't give a shit. He was like, once I got to college, he was like, you're a man, whatever. And that was sort of it. But
yes.
had I went to WVU, I probably, I didn't trust myself to go there. So I went to Fairmont, and that's where I played at. But yeah, it's I hate to say it's JV to WVU, but it is now. And I know I have this argument with a friend of mine, because he says we're old now and we're not in touch with the college community here, which he's exactly right. But the difference is like, now they don't have, like, when I was in school, we would have block parties and shit, and we would fucking have all this stuff. And you just don't see that anymore. And that's what I told him. I was like, dude, I know we're not, we don't hang out with college kids anymore, but I was like, they don't do any of this shit that we did. I was like, you look around Fairmont, it's became lame, and it sucks, because It used to be a really fun place. But I think, from what I understand, is most of the Fairmont State kids go to Morgantown to have fun anyway, because Fairmont's like a ghost town.
Well, is that what you did? Like, you went to Fairmont, but you went to Morgantown to play?
No, well, I did, but I didn't, because Fairmont was a good time back then. There would be Morgantown people that would come to Fairmont on certain nights of the week, because it was a good time, man. The funny thing is with the football thing, I'm glad we went on this, because this was the hammered thing that I can say with football. So I was redshirted.
Right.
And
you're not going to play that year.
Not going to play that year at all. And we would always play, or we would always go out on Thursday nights. And so some of the redshirt people, not a lot of people would go do shit on Friday nights, because they were kind of scared too of coaches like finding you out, because they would look, they would make sure people would be on the even keel. And I ended up going to this party, and it wasn't a football party. It was just people like, hey, you want to have a good time? And I'm like, bear shit in the fucking woods. Where are we going? And so I ended up, I overslept because I was hammered the night before. And we had a 1 o'clock kickoff, and I showed up right, like, we had people on special teams would go out first. So there was guys in full pads and full gear, and I'm sneaking by people like 007 trying to fucking find them, or like trying to get to the locker room. And I was like, all I got to do is survive warm-ups, and I can make it. And I'm up against walls, like looking, peeking around, seeing head coaches jumping back. And I'm like walking through landmines. I didn't get caught. I didn't get in trouble, because I would have got my fucking ass busted. It would have been bad. I don't know if I'd have got thrown off. I wouldn't have got kicked off the team, but I would have had to have run at 5 a.m. a few times for sure.
Oh, fuck no.
And yeah, dude, that was, all I got to do is get through warm-ups and I'm fine. I just felt like death the whole rest of the game on the sidelines.
So even as a redshirt, you had to watch your back. You had to be like, shit.
Oh yeah, man, because what they ended up doing was they caught wind that us redshirt guys were going out on Friday nights. So like probably by like week 6 or 7, they started making us mandatory come in at like 6 a.m. to the weight room to work out on Saturday mornings.
Right.
And I was like, they knew it. Motherfuckers knew it. So that's how they, and it still didn't really work. It just, I mean, you can't really stop it. It just we didn't have nothing else to do. So we were just having fun.
And at that age, I remember there would be like a PFT one morning, and they're like, "Yo, you gotta be ready." We'd go out drinking at the bars.
Right.
There was even one guy stopped in the middle of the PFT to smoke a cigarette and then keep running. You could do anything when you're 20. Like,
dude,
who cares?
That's what blows my mind now. Like I think about it. And and then you can't say that to people, especially on the road, because they're like, well, yeah, because you're not young anymore. And like, I fucking know that. Yeah. But it just, I look back on it now and it blows my mind because I couldn't drink. I couldn't I got 4 IPAs for this podcast, and that's my max. And now I wouldn't, and 4 IPAs to drink on a Thursday night before I'd be like, oh no, I don't think I'm going to do that. And then if I said that to like 20-year-old me, they'd be like, God, it must hurt to be that big of a pussy. Yeah. But I'm like, hey man, it's the future. It's what happens. It is what it is.
Shit, man.
Oh, dude, that's awesome. So, Luke,
there goes another one. What number are you on?
This is actually number 4.
Let's go.
Oh my God.
I do 4, but I cut it off at that, man, because I'll probably wake up tomorrow and I won't feel hungover, but I'll know I drank 4 16-ounce IPAs, and yeah, that used to be a fucking shot for me. That wouldn't be fuck.
Right?
Perfect.
So we all know that you're a big music guy. You got your sound bars in the truck with you every day,
brother.
So, how many? 1, 2, 3. How many sound bars you got?
I have 3, but I've only been using really 2 now.
What are they, if you don't mind? What's the company?
2 of them are UE Boom, and the other is that was actually a Christmas present for one of my aunts. I can't think of the fucking. It's not a UE Boom. It's like
JBL,
maybe.
Beats
I don't
Pill.
know. But it works well. But I only use the one is like 6 years old, and it shorts out a lot, so I don't really use it that much anymore. And really, they work well enough because I started when I first started driving, I was like, oh, I'm having music on fucking all day long. I'm gonna roll up 8, 9 a.m. just then and then I realized especially if you do a lot of commercial stops in the morning, fuck, you're not in your truck much. So I was like, I need to, that's why I ended up having 3, because I got one. The first one I got was on a discount thing. And then when I had it, I was like, damn, I kind of like this, but I need one more. And I bought that one. And then the other one just happened to be a Christmas gift. So that was
so why did you need one more? What happened?
Because it just didn't have enough battery to last all day. But what I didn't understand at the time, though, either was I would put it on full fucking blast.
Oh, that's wearing the battery down quick.
Yeah, it's just wearing it down completely. So once I realized, if you don't have it up full blast, it lasts longer. I didn't realize that until after I bought the second one, but it worked out pretty well.
You learn.
That's awesome.
Exactly.
That's awesome. And what's your favorites to blast on those sound bars there?
It varies. It varies in a lot of ways because I try not to play, you guys know I like hard stuff and I like classic rock too. I try to keep it less hard when I'm delivering, and it's not because people feel uncomfortable with hard music. I don't really care about that. I work too fast, and
runner. Whoa, hey,
yeah.
yo.
That's what I heard.
Running
I'm
gun?
not a rudder. I might be a runner if I got some.
If you got plans, if you got a hot date with the missus.
Yep.
You know.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay.
That's true.
You know, we all understand that, obviously.
Yeah.
But I mean, if I had to put it to like, I would say the most of what I play. If I had to narrow it down, I'll narrow it down to 3. It would probably be it'd be Pantera, Rage Against the Machine, and I won't. God, it might be. I'd almost have to say Metallica or AC/DC. That'd probably be a tie. But those are the. So we'll say the 4. Those are the 4 I play the most. And obviously, of those 4, Rage is the one I have to like watch. When I'm when I go into residential area, especially if Killing in the Name of comes on, I'm like, all right, we're just going to knock this down a few notches.
Don't know what you tell me.
Yeah, you imagine pulling up a package car and it's dark. Yeah. Fuck you, I don't know what you won't do what you tell me.
Excuse me, I'm calling your manager. I'm calling your manager.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, dude.
Karen comes out of her house real
You have
quick.
Karens in West Virginia?
Dude, we have Karens in West Virginia.
Oh, there's nowhere safe in America.
I had somebody the other day, and we could give a shout out to Katie on this because I saw she had a video about this about somebody
Katie
at the company wife at
Diary
Upswipe.
of Upswipe.
Diary of a company wife.
There you go. But
Can we ever change her name?
she had yeah, we might need to. She had a video of like she was making fun of somebody who was like, hey, I don't know. Oh, hold on a minute.
It's another
This
bat.
is Nomad making it live.
This is Nomad.
Making a
Somebody just called Mrs. Nomad.
Somebody's on the
and
phone.
now Luke's talking on the phone to them with her. We're going to guide you through this
part out.
now.
151.
He muted.
Oh fuck! I had that muted. Shit.
Yeah, it was good though. We talked everybody through what happened.
I said, I was like, I'm podcasting right now, but I love you, brother. It's been way too long. She was talking to a friend of ours. That's that emotion on her sleeve. God bless her. So what were we talking about? I fucking can't remember now.
Katie said had a story about Karen.
Yeah.
Yeah, she had a video about it was she said, hey, I have a return for you. I have no idea where it goes. I don't have a package, yada yada. But here, just magically make it go where it was something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
It was, and so I literally had somebody give me a shirt, and I had the call tag in my hand, and I was like, oh no, it needs to be packaged. And she was like, and when I say Karen, stereotypical, she was probably in her 50s, blonde, fucking, she was like,
Fuck.
she said, well, I don't have a package for it. And I was like, I understand, but I need to have a package. She was like, well, what do we do? And I was like, well, I have 3 attempts on it, so I can come back tomorrow and just. And then I was waiting. Oh, yeah. I was waiting for her to be like, do you need to talk to a manager? But she took it. She just like, and then the funny thing is, the fucked up thing was this today was the last day I had, it was not ready 3. She didn't answer the door the next 2 days. But I mean, I've had more with, it
was an RS3 label.
I don't think so. No.
Oh, I would have left that shit. I'm like, here you go, honey. Here's it for you. You can take care of it. And then poof, never come back.
I should have.
So she calls and then plans the on-demand pickup for it.
I had a Karen one time wail on a horn as I'm leaving the hospital. I was in Morgantown that day. I was leaving. There was 2 hospitals up there, and she probably followed me for about, I don't know, we'll say fucking almost a half a mile. Excuse me. And
followed? Like,
oh yeah, followed. And when I mean followed, I'm talking womp, 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 lights flashing, fucking. I'm like, all right, well, where I was at, I couldn't just pull over. So I kept going, and I was like, well, I could have pulled over into CVS, but at that point I was just kind of wanting to see how far she would take it. And, so I ended up, I waited to go to it was into a bank, and I pulled in this parking lot, and she said, she was just like, "Hey, thank you so much. You're going to save me a trip." And it was a package to the good old USPS or the post office, whatever. If you got to edit that, I don't know what we got. It was for the mail people. And she was the first person that I'd ever ran into that actually, because a lot of people don't see that initially because, you know, we look at labels every fucking day.
Right.
And we know what, you know, we know what labels of different companies look like. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And most people do not. So once you point out that, you know, that extra letter, most people just, you know, give oh shit, I'm sorry. And we get a laugh about it, you know. Well, this Karen in particular,
come on,
she literally was just like, I don't understand. And my blood, I know you guys were going to ask about disgruntled.
What do you mean you don't understand?
Dude, I mean, I'm like, what do you, that's literally, I didn't say it in the tone, but I said it kind of like, well, what do you mean? Like, I can't take that. It's for, it's for the post office. And again, she said, I don't understand. And I was like, see, that fourth letter makes a big difference. I was like, it would be like me getting a bunch of Coke products and going to Pepsi and be like, you guys got to sell this shit. And like, she still was pissed, but I think she kind of figured it out. But I mean, I don't know if she did figure it out or not. She was just mad because she knew I wasn't going to take it.
Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah. Plenty of Karens in old West
Sometimes
by
I just want to take it and then, you know, like sell it on eBay or something. You know what I mean?
Right.
There's no, after that, there's no tracking. It's like, I gave it to the mailman or whoever they think they gave it to.
Right.
It's in the black abyss. It's like, it's gone.
That's what blows my mind. That's what blows my mind about, like, and I hate to say anything else about that company, but I've heard a lot of people say that if they don't have their normal person, and that might be the same said for us. I hope not. I'm going to act like I'm going to just ignore it if people say it anyway, I guess. But like, if they don't have their normal person, they're not, a lot of times they don't get their shit.
Oh, Jesus.
No shit.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't heard it to that extreme.
Oh, I've heard it to that. And it's only a couple people. I'm not trashing them like it's a bunch, but there's one, and that's a conversation I'm not going to get into, and we're not going to get into on here, but I think you guys know what I'm talking about with the post office.
Oh yeah.
And we'll just leave it at that.
So the post office is everywhere, obviously, and they're also in New Hampshire. And I heard that you have a great New Hampshire story to tell us.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it was. I won't say it's a great story. I told some of the story. I think was when I think that was on Misty's second episode, when I ran the marathon with my cousin and people were snickering at me because I was outweighed everybody by like 100 pounds. But the part of that story I didn't tell you.
Yeah, because you told us that people from New Hampshire are going to be like, oh yeah, I remember.
Yeah, I know.
Well, I don't know if a bunch of them will, just a handful, unless they told other people. But
what happened?
I took a bottle of scotch and put it in my mouth. And I mean, this is an empty bottle, but it looked like this. I took a full bottle of scotch and just bubbled it pretty much.
For those of you listening that aren't experiencing the video of this right now, he just basically stuck the bottle top of that bottle into his mouth and just tipped his head back. And just lean back with the bottle straight up in his mouth.
So 20-year-old Luke,
and I'm seeing people just looking at me in absolute horror and disgust, and like, what the fuck did you just do? At that point, I'm like, oh, I'm fine. We're good.
Why do you always?
I'm ready.
Why do you always put stuff down your throat when you're so drunk?
I don't know. I wish I knew, but I just.
Oh, you're talking about the coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh God. Okay.
go to the
Yeah.
coffee.
Go to the coffee.
Let's let the listeners hear the coffee story right now.
All right. So the coffee story, the great,
Fuck.
the great, the great thing about the coffee story was this was kind of like my last hoorah before I started working for the company. So this was at a bowl game. I was in Jacksonville, Florida, and we WV was playing in the Gator Bowl. In the hotel we stayed at, there was an IHOP right beside it, and we had went to this IHOP prior. We were there for 3 days. Well, the last day we were there, I don't remember going to the IHOP. I'll just say that for starters. But I woke up the next morning and my throat was just completely swollen. My mouth, like tongue, sides of my mouth. I felt like I couldn't breathe. I was like, what the fuck? What the fuck's going on? Exactly. So I come to find out that, we had won that. We were, to give a side story about the game, we were getting our asses kicked at halftime. We came back and won the Gator Bowl. So I was fucking jacked.
That's a positive. Positive.
Oh yeah. And one thing led to another, and the evening got murky. So I had to get told this part of the story because I don't remember it, but they said I just walked into the IHOP and like people, like I walked in with people and we were going to get seated, and I just decided to walk over to where they had the coffee pots, and I just grabbed a fucking pot of coffee. And like at that point, once I started to put it up to my mouth, there was people going, "Oh no, sir, it's scalding!" And I just started guzzling, just started chugging coffee right out of the pot in this IHOP, and I don't fucking remember it. So needless to say, my throat was scalded, the roof of my mouth, my tongue, the sides of my mouth, everything was fucking burned and swollen.
And like Bobby said on the phone when you told us this, like, can you imagine this happening nowadays with the COVID and shit? Like,
right.
Oh, dude, it would probably go viral because they'd be like, this asshole doesn't have a mask on, and he just put his mouth on this pot of coffee. They probably wouldn't even appreciate. They probably wouldn't even appreciate the fact that you just chugged scalding hot coffee. They would be like, this guy's not wearing a mask in here.
This guy's a fucking psycho. Jesus Christ.
Not even worried that the coffee's going to burn your esophagus. Just, where's your mask?
Dude, right? Oh, my God. And that was the only time I've ever done that, to my knowledge. I would say if I did it again, I would have had to remember it.
To your knowledge, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, God.
So I think you mentioned on previous episodes, like, you're like, yeah, down to maybe, 5 lives.
Yeah.
Let's give us one more near-death experience that you had.
Yeah, you had.
Because
I think you had 3 more.
Three. I said I had 3 more. Yeah, I said because I gave you guys the one where I boogie boarded. I
mean, listen, I know it's not funny, but that you probably almost died. But
hey, I'm here, man.
Let's be honest, because your stories are hilarious.
Yeah.
Like every story you have, like you're going to be a great grandfather when you get older, and you're sitting on the rocking porch telling your grandchildren this fabulous stories about when you were young, and they're going to be like, my grandfather's fucking savage.
So
it was me in the car, and I won.
This is a story. This is a story that, I mean, this is an obvious. I was about to say this is a story that could have went bad, and I'm talking about a time I should have died. Like, oh, this could have went bad. I don't know why I even would lead with that, but so this was after a game. So I was still playing at that point. So they say 2021, and maybe not, whatever, 1920, we'll say that.
Prime.
And so
Stallion.
I'm in a pickup truck, and I'm in the back of it, and we're not, I'm just riding around at this moment. Well, we went to some places, had some fun, and we had we had a DD. We did have a DD, but the DD they weren't accounting for me being an asshole in the back of this truck. So we leave this party, and I'm just starting to fucking beat on the top of the hood. I'm standing up in the back of the bed of this truck. I'm like, speed up. I want to go fast. Like Ricky Bobby, like, I want to go fast. So they end up going quick. And I was like, hey, hold on a minute. I was like, put that, in the back of pickup trucks. You got that little yay window. Oh, you just saw my little fucking cardboard cut out there, but you got that little window in the middle that you could open up. Yeah. So I was like, hey, open this up. I'm going to grip underneath of it, and then we'll go as fast as we can. Oh. So there was somebody in the back of this truck with me, and they were clinging on for dear life. And he would tell me to this day, he said, he was like, I had tears in my eyes because I thought, he's like, I didn't know what the fuck was going to happen. I thought we were going to die because I'm just beating on the fucking top of the hood. And I'm like, speed up. Let's see how fast this fucking thing can go.
West by God, Virginia.
And we end up, and she was speeding up, but where we were going, like she didn't know where we were going. She was sober, but like she was going faster because I'm sitting there just banging on the hood. And then they're like, hey, no, we got to turn right here. So she just whips the wheel. And obviously me having that little grip, that went to shit. And I got cut, like got chop blocked and flipped out of the truck. And we were probably going 45 or 50 miles an hour. God. And I was rolling. Like they said, they looked in the rear view and the side mirrors, and they saw me just rolling, like fucking rolling in the road. And I had road rash completely up one side of my body, and ended up getting up and made it out of it. But like I had to go to practice the next week, and I was just
you getting up? What do you mean you getting up?
How is this dude always getting up?
Truck.
I just got up, man. I don't know. I've told you guys, West Virginia is my armor. As long as it happens in West Virginia, I feel like I can't be destroyed. If I leave this state, I'll fucking die. I'll die crossing the street.
All right, so that's why Bobby and I will come down to you when the time comes. You're not allowed to come up here to New York, Connecticut.
Hell no.
Pathetic. I've been to New York. I've never been to Connecticut. Or pathetic, as he likes to call it.
You're not missing anything. Bro, if I fall off my bed, I get hurt. Like, what the fuck?
Well, that was a long time ago. Like, if I flipped out of a truck going 45 or 50 now,
okay, so let's give
I'd
you
probably
25, 30.
Body cat. Oh, well, I think I could still handle 25 or 30.
See what I mean? Yeah.
I wouldn't get up at all. I'd be like, the fuck just happened?
That's what my pain. I have a good pain tolerance. Like Slammer. Shout out to Chris Slammer. I live sore.
Sore. Yeah, Slammer brother.
God, what a great man.
Goodness, dude. What the fuck? I'm just amazed. Baby, I'm amazed by you.
I can't explain just how, it was a crazy time, and I love the stories that I've accumulated, but it makes me wonder how many that are just forgotten because I don't remember them and nobody was around. I wish I could have had somebody recording me just to document everything, but
he should have been like I said, wild. I don't know what to tell you about
those days.
Now.
Those days, I mean, I love to talk about those stories, but God, yeah, like thinking about that now just makes me hurt.
Dude,
I mean, it makes me hurt.
Seriously, a big old
fuck. You're right.
Wow. So listen, Luke, we got some guest questions that came in for you.
All right.
And we're going to get to them. So all through Instagram here. The first one is from Jeff_Burner. Jeff _Burner. He says
that might be a guy from my center.
Oh, really?
I think so.
Jeff Burner? Burnor.
Maybe. If not, how you doing, Jeff? You're in my center now.
What's up, Jeff? He says, how do you stay positive when the day turns to shit?
Oh, well, one thing I always do preach is I always tell people, especially newer guys and ladies, to not be assholes to their customers if you're having a bad day, because it's not their fault. And I mean, and sometimes that doesn't always, I mean, really, I would say it'd probably be music. I mean, music drives me in so many ways. Well, if I'm having a bad day, or if I know I'm going to be working late and it's like going to be, like a 9 or even 10 p.m. night, I'll crank on the music and roll. And I mean, I think it could work different for everybody, but yeah, music's definitely my therapy, man, for sure.
Same here. Like, that's the same thing with me too, is like, even when I'm doing the little things like around the house, like dishes or something, like if I could, like, got dishes for after dinner and I'm in there doing the dishes and cleaning the dishes, I'll grab my headphones and just throw them on. It's just
yeah, man. Like, and it's always like you have people that always say, what would you rather be, when you say blind or deaf? And most people will always say deaf because if you lose your sight, like but I'm like, man, that's so like, God, I feel like that's such a hard question. And I think you as a musician too, that would be, I mean, to lose your hearing, but I guess if you lost it like at the age we are now, you still have it in your head.
Right. But for me personally, I would rather be blind than deaf, because I think deaf, excuse me, let me back up. If you're blind, okay, and you still have your hearing, if you're like listening to something, for instance, there's a great, I'm going to turn this right into fucking hockey here. So if there is, there's this great sports announcer who actually just retired, believe it or not. His name's Doc Emmerich. And Doc would call these games so well with the ways he would just talk about stuff. It would paint, like, you could close your eyes and paint, like, it would paint a picture in your head and you would know exactly what's going on. You know what I mean? So it's like kind of like the same thing with music too, because music makes you feel things. You know what I mean?
It does.
Music gives you emotions and shit. So it's like, to me personally, I'd rather be blind than deaf.
Yeah, man. How would you, what would you say, Bobby?
That's a negative. I'm more visual. I'm the video guy. So I would rather just make up words that you're saying. I'd be like, oh, he said, yeah, I don't know. But I'm like,
there's somebody behind you.
Yeah. Dave, you're definitely audio.
I don't, hold on. I was just reading.
Definitely music makes you feel stuff, but
yeah. Bob. I don't know. It's just me.
Meredith.
Yeah.
Did you read it?
I did.
Yeah.
So, and I hear what you're saying when you're doing like odds and ends and you just put your headphones in, you're like,
oh yeah.
Start chopping stuff. You're like, yeah, let's go.
So, anyways, another question that we have is from, this one's from Mig1776 on Instagram. Mig says, favorite MRE.
MRE.
Yeah.
MRE.
Meal
like
ready
MRE,
to eat.
like food?
Yeah. Oh.
Favorite
meal ready to eat.
Meal ready to eat? Is that what it stands for?
Yeah, it's a military thing. I'm not sure why he would ask you, but.
Oh my God.
You know what I'm ready to eat? Can you see what's over my? Oh! Oh, damn.
Hold on.
Fuck.
Yep.
Oh my God, Luke. What the fuck?
Guys, I think that concludes the podcast. Luke has some business to do.
Oh my God. What?
I was expecting her. I was expecting her to say that. That's why I was like, I may as well throw the ball up and see if she'll hit it. And I do.
Virginia. Oh my God. Favorite meal, Luke?
I mean, on the road, I'll say Subway. Not my wife's vagina. I mean, that's not my favorite meal on the road.
Jesus Christ.
No, definitely Subway. Definitely Subway.
Okay.
Subway is my go-to. That's like the one place on my route that I can go to right now after post-COVID, because I have a shit ton of fast food places, but I'm not eating Taco Bell for lunch because I take my lunch at 2. If I'm eating Taco Bell, shout out to Big Beer Belly Ernie Martinez, who I bring up a lot. If I ate Taco Bell, I'd be shitting in the woods a lot. Yeah, especially at 2 p.m. I'd be shitting in the woods right before my pickups.
You also got another one from Works All Night at Works All Night. Says, my friend Gus wants to know if that asshole dog is still chained up and barking like an asshole.
The asshole dog still chained up. Oh, is she talking about our dog, Gus?
No, she said her friend Gus.
Her friend Gus. I don't know if that's the dog that I showed that was chained up. And yeah, he's still chained up. We've actually thought about fucking freeing him, because if it's the dog that I'm thinking that she's talking about, he's owned by Hill Jacks. And the definition of Hill Jacks is, well, not really. You don't want to say pieces of shit. Not all Hill Jacks are pieces of shit. No, but Hill Jacks are just rednecks on steroids. So Hill Jacks are people that you can bargain with in a different way, because like literally I was so mad when I found out they had other dogs that I just wanted to almost just be like, hey, I mean, I probably could have paid them off, but then I like, you can't. It's so weird with laws here. Like, I don't think, like, as long as they have a dog house and water, they're fine. But that poor dog, he's out all the time. I'm pretty sure I know which dog she's talking about. And yeah, he's still chained up.
You know what's crazy? So speaking of dogs being like chained up, there was a helper I had like 3 years ago. And
chained him up, bro?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. So there was a helper I had like 3 years ago, and there was a dog that was on our route that was always chained up, but this dog was super friendly, okay, and it got down to like record lows for that winter, where it was wind chills were like -10 degrees, you know, like really fucking cold, and my helper wrote a note on the package that we delivered to this house that said, hey buddy, why don't you chain your dog up next time when it's below freezing outside, like that. Okay. And what happened was the next day, that customer found us like a couple streets over, saw us a couple streets over, and stopped us basically and was like, hey, was that you guys that wrote on the package about me chaining up my dog? And like, we just, you know, he told me that he did it, you know what I mean? But we just got to play it off like, no, that was it. No, what are you talking about?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Buddy, no, we don't know what you're talking about. And he's like, okay, I was like, I must spend the next guy over. I don't know, you know?
Cover driver.
Yeah, cover driver. He's only here for the seasonal. He's seasonal help, you know? And so like, it's like, you know, like you had to play it off, but like still like going with like chaining dogs up, like that's so inhumane, bro. Like, you know,
it is, man.
And like all he had was like a little fucking shed thing with like a little fucking heat lamp in it that they use for like chickens and stuff, like one of those red lights. You know what I mean? Like, come on, bro.
Like, there's a lot of shit that I don't show on Instagram because I find a few sad situations.
Oh,
and
yeah.
She went back upstairs. I couldn't have said that without her getting pissed. But man, yeah, dude, like you said, Dave, inhumane. It is, man.
So let's keep the trend going with dogs. This one's from Rick Balkhags. Rick Balkhags? Rick Bark? No. Rick Balk Hags, I think it is. He says, have you ever had issues en route with an animal other than a dog?
Other than a dog, I am going to say no. The only other animals I've messed with are horses and cows, and that's not. They're not sneaking up on me. I mean, I'm going to them, obviously.
You up? What the fuck, Bobby?
Okay, wait. Can we just go over? There's one main thing that I don't know if it's on Instagram, but You guys don't hear it because you're not on the phone with Nomad, but
Yeah.
could you go over the different? Let me see it, girl. Could you go over the different levels of how you interact with the dogs?
And the horses and the cows.
Any animal.
I mean, really, I've said it to all of them. And the cows are the funniest because those are the ones that I'll get the replies to for people trying to tug on my heartstrings when I'm petting cows. And you're like, see, they're just big, lovable animals. And I'm like, no, they're going to get fucking slaughtered. They got tags in their ears. They're hamburgers.
Filet mignon.
Yeah, they're filet mignon.
Yep.
And I mean, I would say I have probably 4 that I could say off the top of my head that I would like. I have the habit of like, oh, come here, let me see you. And then I'll have the mad one where I'm like, put your fucking hunch down and your lip down and let me fucking see you. And
say it correctly. Come on, say it like you're in the truck right now.
All right. Say it like he wants me to say, put your fucking hunch down and your fucking lip and let me fucking see you. There you go.
There you go.
And then I have the nervous one when I'm like sketchy and I'm like, oh, this might not have been a good idea. I'm like, oh, come here, let me see you. Let me see you.
I heard that last week.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Side note, these guys.
Shepherd?
Yeah, I was on the phone with these guys, and this huge German Shepherd who has always been friendly, but has been caged up for the last couple years. That I don't cover routes anymore, but this route I have to cover because the cradle doesn't work because our roads are beat to shit, and I do it because I like that route. And when I saw the German Shepherd free, I was jacked because I was like, oh, she was always friendly to me, always loved me. And as soon as I gave the let me see you, she just kind of went away from me and her hunch went up. And I was like, fuck, because I was about 200 yards away from my truck. And I was like, if this goes south, I'm going to be on the phone with these guys and just get ripped apart by this fucking German Shepherd. So, but I kept the nervous let me see you going, and she didn't let me pet her. Finally, the fucking woman that lived there was home, so when she came out, everything was cool. And then the way back was fine. But yeah, that stop probably took a legit 10 minutes because I was just like, ooh, this might have been a bad fucking idea. Let me see you.
Oh, awesome. Next one is from Daniel the Warrior 503 on Instagram. Says, are you a fellow metalhead?
I mean, I'd say it's the bear. Like I said, it's the fucking sky blue. Am I bald? Yeah, I'm a metalhead. I'm a fucking metalhead. I don't know the different puts, some metalheads, they only like to say certain genres, but I like hard shit. And if it's got a kick to it, I fucking love it.
Yeah. Which I think you mentioned earlier. You said Pantera, Rage Against the Machine,
right?
Metallica and
AC/DC are those are my top 4 most played. I know most people wouldn't call AC/DC metal for sure,
but it's your
or Metallica. Form. But I mean, it's got kick to it, man. Absolutely. It isn't soft. AC/DC, FYI, is coming out with a new fucking album November 13th.
Saw that.
Motherfucker's still rolling. God bless him. Yeah, 20 fucking. I said that AC/DC is going to. That's what's going to cure COVID. AC/DC is going to rock the COVID out of our lives. I can fucking feel it coming already.
And last but not least, the last question we have here is from our previous guest, and the guest that you'll probably see on the upcoming live event. We got K Possible. He says, if you could interview anyone, past, present, who would it be?
That one was going to, the possibilities are endless.
Absolutely.
But I think that I said I said Slammer earlier, and one of the best things of Slammer's episodes when we talked about the Ultimate Warrior, and which wasn't planned, but fucking, lifting weights, you don't have body hair, Ultimate Warrior. Absolutely. And but his interviews were absolute gibberish and made no fucking sense, and he was just intense to the fucking gills. And if I had to interview anybody, it would probably be him. And I mean, it would be over nothing. Like there's like, I thought, I could have thought like you could think of so many historical figures, but I would think in an interview. So you're saying an interview, like a sit down. Well, it wouldn't be a sit down with the Ultimate Warrior, rest in peace. But dude, yeah, I'd probably have to go with the Ultimate Warrior just because of the wild card hysteria. If you guys haven't heard it, once we get off here, I might have to YouTube you guys some Warrior interviews because dude, they're fucking magical. They are goddamn magical.
That's awesome. So, buddy, that pretty much is all we have for you.
Well, fellas, I will say it has been different, but it has been very fun being on this side of the spectrum.
It is, right? And stay tuned because next week, guys, you guys will hear Bobby's story right there.
I'm getting nervous already.
Yeah, so you'll hear Bobby's story.
He's pointing there, but I'm pointing here because he's here on my screen.
So guys, also don't forget Saturday, December 19th, we will be having our live podcast, 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Catch us on there. We're going to be singing Christmas carols. We're going to be having a blast. We're going to be having previous guests on to stop in and say hello. We'll also be having guests on who's never even been on the show before to stop in and say hello and wish them happy holidays. It's going to be awesome. And if you're interested in getting on and saying hello to us guys, make sure you send one of the DMs to who? That guy that we just interviewed right there,
Luke.
Nomad _delivery_ guy. Hit him up. He'll make sure to book you for your slot. We're just so looking forward to this, because the month of December is going to be so hectic for all of us, obviously, with everything. And we're just looking so forward to get on here to just interact with you guys, the listeners. And that's one thing too, dude. We can't thank you guys enough for the support. The support's been awesome. The hoodies have been selling. Everything's been selling. Thank you guys so much because that helps us out. And that helps us out to be able to do more too as well. And so thank you guys so much for all the support. So December 19th, Saturday, December 19th, Facebook Live. Catch us there for the IAITD live Christmas podcast extravaganza.
I would fuck that up.
Yep.
God, best moderator in the game, folks.
Hands down. Stay strong, stay positive.
That's right, guys. Like I said earlier, also, this is brought to you by Ups and Browns. Go visit upsandbrowns.com. Check out all the gear over there because you know why? It's where warriors get their gear. Luke, buddy, thank you so much, dude, for just letting us interview you, man. It's been awesome.
Hey, man.
I'm sure the listeners have been enjoying it and getting to know us better. And next week, you'll get to know that guy better right there, Mr. Bobby Boy.
Or here.
Or there.
He's everywhere.
Thank you, guys. We'll see you next week. Be safe.
Later, everybody.